Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary, and General, thank you for being here. And I want to first kind of apologize for the sort of personal attacks. My mom and dad taught me to be different. You won't get that from me, Mr. Secretary. Secretary Hegseth and General Kane, we've heard multiple times this year that we can't do Golden Dome because it'll just cause China and Russia to build better missiles to get around our defenses. For that logic to make sense, it'd mean that China and Russia aren't already advancing missile technology and have stood pat on the missile technology they had 20 or 30 years ago. I founded the Golden Dome Caucus here in the House. Is that an accurate statement, that they have stood pat on missile technology, or are they advancing our enemies on missile technology?
I think it's fair to say, like us, they're attempting to advance in every way possible.
Secretary Hegseth, El Paso County is the fastest growing county in Colorado. It's projected to see significant population growth over the next 3 decades, and we're proud that the region's become such a desirable place for families, but that growth has to be balanced with protecting critical operations of our 5 military installations, and that's why initiatives like Security Open Space and Agriculture Resiliency, or SOAR, initiatives are so important. Through a combination of private funding, USDA's Regional Conservation Partnership Program, and the Department of Defense's Readiness and Environmental Protection Integration Program, or REPI, this initiative supports targeted land acquisitions near military bases. These efforts help conserve wildlife, habitat, preserve agricultural interests, and of course maintain the necessary buffer zone, the most important part, that allows military missions to continue. Does the Department of Defense plan to continue to support the REPI program in the FY26 budget request to Congress?
Yes, sir, it does. I could get back to you with a specific number.
That would be great. Thank you. Additionally, the Colorado Trust for Public Land has been awarded an $18.5 million USDA RCPP grant to help leverage DoD REPI funds and reduce future land use conflicts around installations like the U.S. Air Force Academy. However, I understand the USDA is currently holding the funds under review. While I recognize this may fall outside of your direct jurisdiction, the success of this land acquisition is essential to protecting the Academy's training capabilities. Can I count on your assistance in working with USDA to find a solution that protects the readiness of the Air Force Academy and responsible federal funding?
Yeah, we're happy to look at that with you.
Great, thank you. I also would like to talk a little bit about the border. My district is home to U.S. Northern Command. We're very proud of what U.S. Northern Command has done with the new authorities that on January 20th the President gave Northern Command on the southern border. And in addition, 4th ID has troops down there. Could you talk a bit about some of the great work that the U.S. military is doing in support of securing our southern border?
We think it's foundational and fundamental work to the security of our nation. And as I've said before, because the previous administration allowed 21 million illegals from places we don't know to enter our country. And thank you for asking that, because it gives me an opportunity to sort of, I see questions that are specifically meant to attempt to sow discord between the chairman and I, knowing you're going to get different answers based on our positions. And he has said, you know, the technicalities of an invasion, well, we're not talking about an invading army here. So, of course, everyone's trying to spin his words. What we're talking about is the invasion of human beings, mostly military-age males from all around the world. We have no idea what their intentions are, and they facilitated it under the previous administration. So me in my position, I can I can clearly state that it is an invasion. And we are proud to have the military at the border to interdict that. And they're every single day, through increased authorities, are working together with Border Patrol to ensure that that number goes from 99.9% to 100 at the southern border. And I cannot commend the Joint Staff, NORTHCOM, and our military for reacting to that in the early days of the administration, orienting their focus to the southern border, and applying the manpower expertise necessary. Because for 2 decades, we spent 20 years guarding other people's borders, and we got really good at it. And it's about time we take that expertise and apply it to ours. And I commend our military for following those lawful orders and executing it incredibly well.
They did a great job, and it's very similar to what's happening right now in Los Angeles. It's a support role. They're not down there arresting people. They're not doing that, but they're doing a great job supporting. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I'd yield back.